All right, so I just got back from the health physics conference, and when I was there, I made a video asking you all to ask me what questions you had when it came to health physics and radiation protection. The only question I got, and I got it several times, was what was my presentation about? And for those of you who don't know, I had a presentation at this health physics conference. So my presentation was on a topic called internal dosimetry. So I could do a whole video just on internal dosimetry, but basically it's the measure of the amount of dose from radiation that you get from the inside of you. You might already know about external dosimetry. You use these things here called TLDs, the thermal luminescent dosimeters, to measure the amount of radiation that you're exposed to externally, so photons and betas that externally are bombarded on you. You can measure with these things. But when it comes to the contamination that you get inside of you, or if you like inhale it or ingest it, you have to measure that a completely different way, and it's called internal dosimetry. Now, instead of using dosimetry like this when it comes to measuring internal dose, you have to do a thing called bioassay. Again, I could go way into depth on that if you want me to in a future video, but basically you need to take samples from a person or put the person next to a detector and measure the radiation that's coming out of them from that internal intake of radioactive material. Now, my presentation was very basic and practical. How to create a bioassay program from scratch. How to decide which sample is appropriate for you. Is it going to be urinalysis? Is it going to be a fecal sample? And how long after maybe an accidental uptake do you need to take that sample? Now, I've given presentations at other conferences, but this was my first Health Physics Society conference, and I'm glad I made a presentation during my first one, because if I was to go to a Health Physics Society conference and see the presentations they had, I would have been extremely intimidated. Now, these presentations were extremely technical, way up here, given by a lot of like PhD students, and really got into the weeds. I remember getting up there and thinking that my presentation is really basic. All these people gave these really technical, very smart presentations, and I remember thinking like, oh man, am I going to be beneath them on this presentation? And people came up to me right afterwards saying they really appreciated my presentation because it was something that they could take home with them and actually use in their line of work. It's something that other health physicists will understand, and it's very practical. So I think the main takeaway that I had from giving this presentation was, if you're part of a professional society and you have an idea of a presentation you want to give because maybe you found a novel way to do things in your line of work, don't feel too intimidated to give a presentation. If anything, all it's going to do is help you to gather your own thoughts and solidify your idea even better, and it could end up being extremely helpful to others.